Hello, good evening. Today let us discuss about the kinds of verb. We have been discussed in previous video about the definitions of the verbs and their kinds also. Now let us discuss uh, deeply with example. Let us see on the board verb. Now we can divide two types of verb. One first is the helping verb. Mainly we can divide into two parts. First is helping verb and next is main verb. Now again main verb will be divided. There are many type of main verb, that is transitive and intransitive verb. Now main verb will be divided in many parts, that is transitive, intransitive. Now we have already discussed about the what is the transitive and intransitive verb with example in previous video. Now next we discuss. Let us discuss next what is the strong verb and weak verb. Next is strong verb and weak verb. Now let we see on the board what is a strong verb. Strong verb, when a verb forms its past tense, from its past tense and past participle by changing vowel in the body of the words, it is called strong verb. As an example, we see V1, V2, V3. V1 is present. Now it is a strong verb. V1 is a verb number 1. This is a present verb. No, this is a present verb. And V2 is a past. It is a past tense. And V3 is the past participle. Now go is a verb here. Go. Now it is the past tense of go is when. Now it is from by changing the vowel. By changing the vowel in the body of the words. Go is go. The past tense of go is when. Now it is from by changing the vowel in the body of the word, and next it from the past participle by changing the vowel. By changing the vowel in present form, isn't it? In present form, we make the past participle by changing the vowel. By changing the vowel, it forms the gone, isn't it? Go, when, gone. And go is a present tense, and when is a past, and gone is past participle. Just do. Do is a present. It is a present verb, and past tense is did. Now it has been changed. It has been changed the vowel and make the past tense. Just done. Done also, it is also changed the vowel, isn't it? That's why write. Write also, it is a present verb, and wrote is a past tense. This is a past by changing the vowel in the body of the words. And just written. Written also changing the vowel in the body of the words. And the write is a present verb, and we make the past tense by changing the vowel. By changing the vowel in the body of the words, we make the wrote and a written by changing the vowel in the body of the words, isn't it? That's why it is a strong verb. It is a strong verb. Go, when, gone, do, did, done, write, wrote, written. So all these are the strong verb. And how to make the strong verb? We change the vowel. We change the vowel. By changing the vowel in the body of the word, we make the strong verb, isn't it? That's why go, when, gone, this is a strong verb, and do, did, done, it is a strong verb, and write, wrote, written, it is also, all these are the strong verb, isn't it? That's why I repeat again, what is the strong verb? When a verb forms its past tense by changing past tense and past participle by changing the vowel in the body of the words, it is called strong verb. That's why when is a past tense, it make from present tense, isn't it? By changing the vowel. and gun is a part participle. It is made by changing vowel, by changing the vowel in the body of the words. That's why all these are the strong verb. That's why when a verb from it is past tense and past participle, by changing the vowel in the body of the words, it is called strong verb. And all these are the strong verb. By all these are the strong verb. Strong verb will be formed by changing the vowel in the body of the words, isn't it? That's why all these are the strong verb. Now we discussed about the strong verb. What is the strong verb? Isn't it? Next is weak verb. What is weak verb? What is the weak verb? What is the weak verb? Weak verb. Weak verb. What is the weak verb? When the verb that forms its past tense and past participle by adding the verb that from its past tense and past participle, by adding, not changing the vowel, by adding ed or d, ed or d or t, isn't it? By adding ed or d or d or t, isn't it? By adding the ed or d and t without changing the vowel, without changing the vowel, it is called weak verb, isn't it? It is called weak verb. The verb that forms it is past tense and past participle by adding ed or d or t without changing the vowel. Strong verb is changing the vowel, but weak verb does not change the vowel. It is made by adding. It is formed by adding ed or d or t without changing the vowel. It is called weak verb, isn't it? It is called weak verb. As an example, B1, B2, B3. Suppose B1, B2, B3. Suppose play. Suppose this is a play. This is a verb, isn't it? Present verb. And if you want to make the past tense, you should be adding played, ed, isn't it? Ed, played, play. It is without changing the vowel. It make past tense without changing the vowel. Only adding the suffix ed, isn't it? Only joining the ed, by adding only ed, isn't it? It make the past tense by joining only ed, play, played, and participle also played, isn't it? The verb make the past tense from the past tense and present tense only changing by only adding the ed, isn't it? only adding the ed, it is called weak verb, isn't it? The verb that forms its past tense and past participle by adding ed or d or t without changing the vowel, it is called weak verb. That's why, as an example, play is a weak verb, isn't it? And played. How to make the weak verb? We should make the weak verb by joining ed, or d or t. Now this is the we make the past tense by joining only ed, and part participle also make by joining ed, isn't it? Then play, played, played. That's why, what is the weak verb? The verb that forms its past tense and part participle by adding ed or d or t without changing the vowel. It is called weak verb, isn't it? As an example, this also example. Next example, B1, B2, B3, isn't it? And next is play. Just suppose require, isn't it? Require, and it is also weak verb. And if you want to make the weak verb, you should join only the require past tense. How to make the past tense? You should write require, UIRED. There's only suffix already e. That's why we should join only d, isn't it? We should add only d. Thus we make the past tense by joining d. And part participle also require, isn't it? QRED, require. That's why only it is suffix only d, because there is already suffix e, isn't it? That's why we join only d. That's why we how to make the past tense. If a verb that forms its past tense and part participle by adding ed, by joining ed, isn't it? Played ed and ed or d. Here require, here only adding the d only, because e is already here. That's why we join only we should add only d words, no? And part participle also same. That's why this is called weak verb, isn't it? If the verb forms its past tense or part participle by adding ed or d, isn't it? Ed or d or t, it is called weak verb. And strong verb is not suffix. Strong verb is made by changing the vowel in the body of the word, but weak verb is not changing the vowel. Only it is add only by adding only ed or d, isn't it? And it make the past tense and part participle by adding ed or d or t. Such type of verb is called weak verb, isn't it? Such type of verb is called weak verb. Now we have discussed ins and out about the strong verb and weak verb, isn't it? Now next is linking verb. What is the linking verb? Next is linking verb. Now we are discussing about the main verb, isn't it? Now we are not discussing about the helping verb. Now we are going on, the subject is going on about the main verb. Now we are discussing what are the types of main verb, isn't it? Now we are discussing the kinds of main verb. And first is the transitive and intransitive verb. And previous video we have already discussed about the transitive and intransitive verb with example. Now today we discussed about the strong verb and weak verb. Now just we have discussed about the strong verb and weak verb. Now we are going to discuss about the linking verb. What is the linking verb? The verb What is linking verb? The verb, linking verb, the verb does not, the verb does not point out, does not point out, does not point out, does not point out action, does not point out action, does not point out action, but not point out action, but join, join subject, join the subject, subject and complement, isn't it? Subject and complement, subject and complement is called is called is called is called link verb. You just say linking verb is called linking verb. Is called linking verb. I will again repeat here. What is the linking verb? What is the linking verb? The verb does not. The verb does not point out, does not express the action, isn't it? Does not point out means does not express the action, but it is try to, it is connect, join, connect between the subject and complement, isn't it? Subject and complement, but does not express the action, but it is try to join the subject and complement. It is called linking verb, isn't it? Now we clear. Now I am going to clear with example. By giving example. What is the linking verb? What is the linking verb? What is the linking verb? As an example, I feel very happy, isn't it? I feel very happy, isn't it? I feel very happy. Now, feel is this not expressed action. Now it is only thinking, no, but this is not action. Feel verb is not performed any activities, no. Now he is not involved in any physical activities. Now he is only deciding, no, and he decides by he feels. He feels very happy. But this verb is not expressed any action, but only feelings, no. That's why it is a linking verb. Now this is the verb, feel is verb, but it is not action verb. This is a not stative verb, isn't it? Non-stative. And it is a subject. This is a subject. I is a subject, no. And very happy, it is a complement of the subject. It is a complement of the subject. This is a complement. Very happy is a complement, no. It is a complement. Now the verb is he tried to connect the between the subject and complement. It is not function. It is not expressed any action, but he connect the complement and subject, isn't it? He connect the complements and subject, isn't it? He connect the complement and subject. That's why it is a linking verb, isn't it? It is a linking verb. It is a linking verb. He is very happy. He is very happy. He is a very happy. This is also verb, isn't it? This is also verb. It is also linking verb. It is not expressed any action, but it is only he only telling about the subject. No, very happy, isn't it? That's why it is a connecting verb, isn't it? This is a linking verb, and this is a complement. This is a complement, and this is a subject, isn't it? That's why it is a linking verb. It is a linking verb. Linking verb, the verb does not point out any action, but try to join, but connect between the complements and between the subject and complement. Such type of verb is called linking verb. Okay. Now we discussed about the linking verb, isn't it? What is linking verb? What is the linking verb? Next is finite. Next is finite verb. What is finite? This is very important. Finite. What is the finite? Finite verb. Finite and non-finite. Now we discuss about the finite. What is the finite and non-finite? This is also parts of. This is also kind of main verb, isn't it? Finite and non-finite also part of the kinds of main verb. Now we have discussed about the linking verb. Now we have discussed about the linking. What is the linking verb? Next is now we are going to discuss about the finite verb. What is the finite verb? What is the finite verb? The verb, the verb, the verb, the verb, the finite verb or the verb, finite verb, the finite verb are verb that change according to tense, according to the tenses and persons and tenses and persons, persons and numbers of the subject, isn't it? Number of the subject. It is called finite. It is called finite verb, isn't it? It is called finite verb. What is finite verb? Finite verbs are verbs that change, but which is changed according to the tense, which is changed their forms according to the change, that change according to the tenses and the persons and numbers of the subjects, isn't it? The finite verb are the verbs that change according to the tense and persons and numbers of the subject. It is called finite verb. As an example, I give example here. What is finite verb? Finite verb. Suppose I write a letter. Here I write a letter. Next, I going to change the persons. Now here, suppose I write here he. Suppose I going to write here. Suppose I write here he. Then the form of the verb will be changed. Now, if the subject is singular, isn't it? First person, isn't it? I am going to change the persons here. He. I suppose I going to write he. Then verb will be changed. The form of the verb will be changed. What will be? He. If you write the he, then you should write here writes, R-I-T-E-S, writes. Now you going to have been changed because the percentage is changed. If you going to write I first person, there should be writes, isn't it? And B5, isn't it? B1. This is a B1, and this is a B5, isn't it? If this is a B5, isn't it? Writes, and he. It is third person singular number. That's why the present indefinite tense, the verb will be, you should be add the s, es or s, isn't it? And the third person singular number. That's why you change the from here. You should write writes in lieu of writes. You should write writes, isn't it? Because there is change the persons now. That's why he writes a letter, isn't it? If going to change the person, the form of the verb will be changed. Now here change. Next, I going to change the tense now here. Suppose they wrote. Now write has been changed into wrote because I going to from past indefinite, isn't it? I going to write past indefinite tense. No, they wrote a letter. They wrote a letter, isn't it? They wrote a letter. Now the tense has been changed. That's why the form of the verb will be changed. Here, there is a writes, but now it changed into wrote because we have to change the tense, isn't it? And this is the past indefinite, and this is the present indefinite tense, isn't it? Now you have changed into past indefinite. Then the form of the verb has been changed, and you should write wrote in lieu of writes, isn't it? Because this is the past indefinite tense and this is the present indefinite tense, isn't it? That's why I means to say that if the tense is changed, the form of the verb will be changed, isn't it? If person is changed, the form of the verb will also be changed. That's why final verbs are the verbs which are changed according to the tense and persons and number, isn't it? The final verb are the have to change. The final verb are have to change time to time and according to the tense and according to the changement of the tense. If you are going to change the tense, the verb form will also change. It should be followed according to the tense. That's why such type of verb will be such type of verb are called final verb. If the verb change according to the tense of changement of the tense and the persons, and such type of verb are called finite verb, isn't it? Finite verb are time to time, you have to change time to time, isn't it? As per if you change the persons, the form of the verb will be also changed. That's why what is the final verb? The final verb of the verbs which are changed but which changes according to the tense and persons and number of the subjects, isn't it? This is a subject and this is also subject. This is the first person. That's why I write here. You use the right. And this is the third person singular. This way we should write the rights in lieu of right. That is the rights, isn't it? And if you change the tense, this is the present tense, and if you used to write the past tense, then form of the verb right will be changed into wrote. Thus, the final verb of the final verb have to change as per change of tense by as per tense and persons and number of the subjects. Clear? I think you have clear. Now we have discussed about the final verbs, isn't it? What is the final verb and non-final verb? What is the non-final verb? Next time is shortage, but now we're going to finish. Now let me discuss, finish this non-final verb. What is the non-final verb? Non-finite verb, no? Non-finite, the verb. What is the definition? The verb which does not, but the verb that, but which does not change, does not change as per by according to tense, and persons and number of the subject, isn't it? Number of the subject. It is called non-final. The verb which does not change. The verb which does not change according to the tense. If you change the tense, and persons, but non-final verb does not change, isn't it? It should not be changed. Such type of verb is called non-final verb. As an example, I repeat again, for non-final verb, the verb which does not change their forms according to tense and persons and number of the subject, isn't it? Does not change. As an example, I want to read. I want to read a book. Yeah, isn't it? I want to read a book. He he wants he wants to he wants to read a book. Isn't he? He want to. He wanted to read a book. He wanted. I is a first person, but I want to read a book, isn't it? To read. This is the not final verb to read, isn't it? This is the infinitive verb, isn't it? It is comes under the final verb, isn't it? To read. Now again, there is a person is changed, and person is changed, but to read does not change, isn't it? To read, isn't it? This is the to read. Suppose here write present indefinite tense. No, this is the third person singular, but to read is same. This is not changes here. Thus, it is past tense, isn't it? I changed it is past tense, isn't it? This is the present, and now again I change the past tense. No, verb is changed into the past indefinite, but to read is the same. It is exists in same place, isn't it? Does not change. That's why this does not change. Yeah, to read is does not change, isn't it? Suppose next is he is he is reading he is reading he is reading a book. He is reading a book. But there is this is the present continuous tense, isn't it? But suppose he was I change the tense. He was reading reading a book reading a book. But this is a change. He is I change. I write here he was, isn't it? But the reading is same. Now this also same here. Reading a book. He is reading a book. He was reading a book. Now we change the was, isn't it? He was. But reading is not changed, isn't it? That's why it is a what type of verb? These are the non-final verb, isn't it? That's why what is the definition of non-final? The verb does not change. The verb which does not change according to the tense, and persons. But now here person is changed, but the verb is same here. To read is same here. Next, the tense has been changed. This is the present tense. But next we write wanted, past indefinite. Change it to past indefinite, isn't it? But to read is the same. Exists here. It does not change. To read is does not change, isn't it? That's why whatever may be past tense, you change into the past tense, but present tense, you change the person, subject, first person, second person, but the verb will be same, isn't it? That's why time is shortest, and let me finish here, and please subscribe my video, and you try to watch the video continuously, and this is very important, and you try to watch my video without any absence. No? And let me finish here. Jai Hind.